Thank you. In conclusion, I'd like to introduce Mayor John Tabori, who has some closing comments.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody who has come here and presented and who's asked good questions. I think that this is a start to the conversation. I think this conversation needs to go further for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think we saw some very good technical discussions and some very good presentations on the issues of how you manage water. But there's a secondary and a tertiary problem. The secondary problem, or maybe the primary problem, is climate change in and of itself. And because you're seeing increasing amounts of water overall on an average. It's not huge at this point in time, but it's going to be huger. And the second aspect of climate change is the variance in the storms. When I first came here, storms, 72-hour storms were maybe 3 or 4 inches at the most, right? And it usually took place over 72 hours so that the drainage systems that existed were able to handle that. That's not happening anymore. You now see microbursts, which dump anywhere up to 6 inches in a few hours. They don't hit the whole area, but they can hit smaller areas here, there, and everywhere. But every one of those, when they come down, they do real damage. The other thing is, we talk about 500-year storms and we talk about 100-year storms. I'm 80 years old, right? I've seen 2 500-year storms, and I've seen 2 additional 100-year storms during that period of time. And then I've seen a number of these microbursts, right, where more than the standard 500 to 100 year dump has occurred in a very short period of time. So I think we're seeing real changes in the climate, and our regulations are not keeping up with them. I'm an economist, and I can tell you that the cost in two areas is enormous. Number one, it's enormous in just physical damage, right? People's homes being flooded, et cetera, et cetera. The other one, which is much more problematic, is what it does to individuals. It can kill people, and it does. So I think we need to continue this conversation, and we need to start talking about how our regulatory system keeps up with this and does the things that are necessary. And certainly we need to start thinking about the interplay between policy, zoning, and development. And I hope we can continue that conversation in the future. For those of you who are interested, all of this has been recorded. And we will make it available through our email system that we have, and I think most of you have received that, but I will just very slowly give it to you. It's the SWM forum, FORUM @gmail.com. And you can send emails there. David Brosh and I will regularly check. Don't expect us to answer you in 24 minutes, but we will try and get back to you within 3 or 4 days. And we will keep regular contact, and we will send out invitations to the next forum. which we hope will hold in 3 months or so. Thank you very much. And give a big hand to the people here.
Thank you, Mayor Tabori. As I move to close this up, I first want to thank very much the Sierra Club and their expertise for organizing this. And I will take your thanks to the Dean for providing the facility and classroom support to help us make this work. I would remind you, as we long for the age of the beaver, who knew about beavers? I teach a class in sustainability at the University of Maryland, and Dan Hayes, a graduate of the school who worked for facilities management, gives a fantastic history of the campus. In the 1880s, the university advertised itself as a haven from cholera due to the fact that what's now the mall was a freshwater creek, and it had available to it at the south side of campus a sewer from which all waste could be disposed. So things have gotten a lot better. Thank you all for coming.